In today's tutorial, I will show y'all how to make Natchitoches meat pies. You're going to start by making your own pastry dough in a food processor. I've got all-purpose flour, some salt, some very cold butter, and I'm going to pulse blend this until it resembles pea-sized crumbles. And toward the end of the process, I'm going to add some very ice-cold water. Next, I'm going to turn out the dough onto a floured counter surface. I'm going to make it cohesive, turn it into a ball. I don't want to overwork the dough though. We want to keep that butter intact inside. Once the ball has been formed, I'm going to cut it in half and I'm going to make it into 2 flat discs and cover it in that plastic wrap there and refrigerate it for at least an hour. While that pastry dough sets up, I'm going to start by browning the meat in our saucepan here. Once the meat has been browned thoroughly, I'm going to strain all the grease out of it in a colander and set it off to the side while I get started on the bell pepper and onion and garlic that go inside the meat pie. Saute the veggies for about 5 to 7 minutes until they are softened, and then we will add in our spices. Once those veggies have softened, we're going to add in our Worcestershire sauce along with our thyme and bay leaves and salt and pepper. Going to let that cook for about 8 to 10 minutes, and then we're going to move on to re-adding the meat. Alright, so we're adding the meat back in. We're going to give that a nice stir, remove those bay leaves, and then we're going to move on to our thickening slurry, and we're going to cook that down all together for about 5 to 7 minutes. And here comes our thickening slurry, which is comprised of milk and all-purpose flour. This is going to help thicken the filling of our meat pie. Once I've stirred that all together, I'm going to set it off to the side, and it's going to thicken as it sets up, and I'm going to move on to make our meat pie pastry. Again, on a clean counter surface, I'm going to roll out the dough into a circle. And I'm going to take a small dish and I'm going to press it down onto the dough once I have gotten it to the thickness that I desire, which is usually about 1/4 inch of thickness. I'm going to take that small dinner plate, I'm going to set it on the top, and I'm going to take a knife and cut around it to cut out my shape for my meat pie. And this batch of dough, by the way, provided me 8 meat pies. All right, so again, about a 1/3 cup of meat you're going to put in the center of your meat pie pastry. You're going to take some egg wash, run it around the edges. This is going to help seal the meat pie. You're going to fold it in half, and then you're going to take a fork and crimp the edges to seal it properly. And once you've done all the meat pies like that, you're going to take them and line them up on a parchment lined tray, I should say, and put them in your fridge to set up for about 20 minutes before we move to the oven. While your meat pies are setting up in the fridge, you're going to preheat your oven to 400 degrees. Once your oven is preheated, you're going to take the remainder of your egg wash and you're going to baste the tops of each of your meat pies. Into the oven they go for 30 minutes. And there you have it, an authentic Natchitoches meat pie made in the comfort of your own kitchen. Enjoy!